Good evening, and welcome to Black Mental Health is Mental Health. I'm your host, Bronwyn Lucas, the caring counselor, and I do have some guests that are going to join us tonight as we talk about buying black and how important that is. What does that have to do with mental health? You'll find out tonight. As always, we are going to start with some deep breathing. For those of you who have never been here before, let me tell you why. When we take in these deep breaths, they're cleansing breaths. It allows your mind and body to calm down, to focus, get rid of some of the cares of the day, whatever they may be. So it's a way to just focus and feel good. So we always start doing with that. So if you've never done it before, let me explain. I want you to put your hands lightly on your stomach. Because when I say breathe in, you're going to breathe in so deeply, you'll feel your stomach expand because you're filling up your lungs, air is going throughout your entire body. And when I say breathe out, you'll exhale and it will go down. So let's take three cleansing breaths. Breathe in, two, three, four, out, two, three, four. In, two, three, four, out, two, three, four. One more. In, two, three, four, out, two, three, four. I encourage everyone throughout the day, if you're feeling stressed, take a few deep breaths. It can change your life. So it allows you to just take a moment to chill and relax. So hopefully that was beneficial to you. So tonight, as I said, we're talking about buying black, keeping the black dollar in the black community, something that doesn't stay there enough. We have one of our guests on, and we have another guest who may be joining us. We're crossing our fingers. But Mr. Demond, I like for my guests to introduce themselves. You know what's best to be said about you. So tell us your name, where you're from, and one really interesting thing about you.
Well, my name is Demond Fields. I'm the owner of Sankofa Kitchen. Um, I'm from Oak Cliff. Uh, One interesting thing about me, I like money.
All right. Then you are the perfect one to talk about All right. And we have another business owner that may be joining us. I think he's trying. You'll see me looking down, checking to see if he has what he needs. He's actually closing up his business. He closes at 7. So we'll just see. So, Damon,
Yes, ma'am.
well, tell us about your business. What is Sankofa?
We're a restaurant. We're a restaurant slash cultural, uh, culturally, cultural bookstore as well. What we do is we integrate the culture books along with the healthy food that we promote. We do a concept there. Hey, good there. What up, Ronnie?
Hey, what's going
So we're gonna let Ronnie come on in, Damon, because I know you won't mind that.
Yeah, not sure won't. If you want to start over, we can start over and let him go in.
We'll let him do his introduction. The way I do introductions, Ronnie, is that I let you tell something about yourself, your name, the name of your business, where you're from, and something cool about you. And
on?
then we're gonna jump back into it and let Damon. He was just telling about his business, and I'll come back to you. But who are you that just popped on our screen?
I'm Ronnie J. Ronnie Gerard Pettigrew. I'm owner of Ashe Ronnie J Fashions, located inside the Go DeSoto Marketplace in DeSoto, Texas. I sell culturally inspired fashion, as you might have saw in my background here, black fashion, um, um, by inspired by myself, other designers, other vendors that I use, and sell all that fabulous products inside of my store.
Awesome. And we're going to come back to you. And I can say, guys, I have spent money with both of these vendors. I'm wearing earrings tonight that I bought from Ronnie J. And I have dined sufficiently at Sankofa and taking many people there who come in from Houston. So, Demond, you would just start over telling us about your business.
I mean, we're a restaurant first. We specialize in vegan food, but we also sell some meat. We don't do beef and pork. We believe in saying we create a best of both worlds. So if you're vegan, we got something for you. But if you're a meat eater, we have for you. And what we believe in is that a lot of times when we go in with guests, everybody has a different diet, and a lot of times we all can't meet up at the same place because of just certain diet that we're on. So we try to accommodate both sides of the. And like I said, we do have a retail side as well.
And I can say you accommodate both sides well at your restaurant. The vegan, the meat eaters, and the non-meat eaters can all enjoy. And it is good to be able to have a place, where both, or you can dine. I have friends that are staunch vegan, and those that are, oh, y'all crazy, y'all gotta eat some meat. So um, it's a good place to take people because it's good food, and you can accommodate both sides. So, Ronnie J, what is your business?
So I sell, like I said, culturally inspired black fashion, t-shirt, a lot of t-shirts and apparel, jewelry, and some publications. All black inspired. We have a lot of black themes that are surrounded around our black history, our glorious black history, and we also work. So most of those are my designs, but I also work with other designers and other vendors and bring some of their fabulous shops and products and sell those out of our store as well. We've been in business for 3 years. We're located, like you said, inside the Grover Soda Marketplace, where we have some nice restaurants, and so they all kind of fit within the theme here at the Grover Soda Marketplace, along with my shop and some of the other black businesses inside of this facility.
Hmm. So I'll throw this out. We'll stick with you for a minute, Ronnie. How long have you been in your business?
So I'm in my third year. We're fastly approaching four. When you're in business, these years seem to go by very fast. So, but yeah, we're thankfully here in our third year. We survived the pandemic. Thankful to be here where a lot of businesses didn't survive it. So
Mhm.
that's something about my clientele, our customers, and in the area that we're in.
Awesome. What about you, Damon? How long have you been there?
I've been at this location for 6 years, but I've been in the restaurant business and entrepreneur for over 20 25 years now.
Mm. And what prompted you to start this particular restaurant, a vegan restaurant that also sold meat? What? How did you even get that idea?
I mean, it goes back to like I said, when I would go. I mean, when I'm out with my friends
Mhm.
or family, I'm vegan, been vegan for 20 plus years, and a lot of times, I don't want none of that cardboard, man. I want some meat. So I'm listening to them, and I've been in the restaurant business for a while. So just even doing what we was real popular back in the day for doing a lot of spoken word and live music, and then seeing those different type of the different type of clientele come in, and everybody's having a different level of consciousness or where they are when they eating and everything. So that's I say, well, and then being in the South Side at the time, there wasn't a lot of vegan in the South at all when we first started
Mhm.
about 6.5, 7 years ago here. So
So you also fared okay with COVID because so many places. But I'm happy for both of you. So many places, fell by the wayside. What do you? I know Ronnie J. You say you attribute that to the type of clientele. What do you think, Demond, a restaurant that made it through COVID? How do you think you did manage that?
black business has been in COVID all their lives. So
Come on now.
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but it's a struggle. It's been a pandemic. When we talking about business, it's a pandemic uh, all year round, 24/7. With when we dealing with black business, when we under finance, under management, under resource, and we don't stick together a lot of times to understand to share our resources. So I mean, I'm making fun of it, but we always in crisis mode as black business people. So we've always had to learn how to adapt, and I think that's part of it. Is actually being able to adapt to your climate.
And I think that's so true. During the my grandfather, who actually died before we was born, but my mom would say talk about how within the depression, that's when he was young.
Right.
And he said during the depression, he said we ate steak before the depression, we ate steak during the depression, and we ate steak during after the depression. We just didn't eat it every night.
That's right.
And I think it speaks to that. As black people, you're right. It's just like, okay, whatever.
Right.
We are going to make do. We make it happen. What
We all
about you, Bronny? You and you've been there 3 years, so you kind of started with COVID.
I did. So I was probably I want to say 8 months before COVID hit. And
Mhm.
so just as my business is starting to build some momentum there, we have this pandemic come and shut everything down. But what also contributed to our success and be able to survive that, like I said, it was our certainly being with our people, spending money, and we had some unfortunate events that happened during that time with the whole George Floyd thing, and so it brought up some emotional feelings, which brought people back out the shop and wanted to support and represent what was going on at the time. So again, contribute. We as Black people, we spend more money than anyone else, and so we were able to to survive that pandemic, knowing how with some of those trending spends.
So true. So let's just talk about the business model itself. A lot of people think about starting a business. Some fail, some succeed, just like with anything else in life. Can you guys share, I guess, first some failures, some hard times in business? Because it's not all rosy. There are ups and downs being in business. Um, can either of you share, Demond? You've been in business for 20 years, so I know you've seen some ups and downs, and you've had more than one business. So I guess I'll ask you, what are some other businesses you've even had?
How much time you got?
How important is to 20 years?
I started, believe it or not, I started with a bookstore. That was the first business that I actually had, legitimate. When I say, that when I was paying taxes and everything like that on it,
Mhm.
I've hustled, all type of different type of products before that. But the bookstore was my first business. Um,
What was it called?
I've had five bookstores, so
Wow.
yeah, I've had five bookstores. I've had one that was called Cultural Insights. One was African Proverbs. Another one was House of Knowledge, and then of course Sankofa.
What happened with the bookstores?
We evolve. We still everything. I tell everybody, when they ask me what kind of business I'm in, still to this day, I tell them I'm a bookseller. So I still, even if you come into the restaurant right now,
Yeah.
we still carry
Right.
books. So it's not. I didn't necessarily leave the bookstore. I just didn't. As wanted to say once again, like we saying, as a business owner, the key is to adapt to your climate and to make changes and try to grow with it. And that's what we've tried to do. But we've always it's what Sankofa means is go back. So we've always, every time we open up a business, some kind of way we seem to go back to where we started at, and that's what
Mhm.
selling books. But the food and drinks and the entertainment, all of it has been good for us. And you saying some of the failures or the you ask about that. Uh, I mean, there's many failures. The key is to fail fast and don't make the same mistakes. So I mean, I'm failing every day. I'm making mistakes every day. It's just about really trying to figure out how to fail fast and to not go into that same ditch again.
I like the quote that failure is just an opportunity to learn.
Right.
You
Okay.
know, we all fail, and I thank you for saying it. There have been many failures because
Yeah.
a lot of times we want to put this idea that it's just all perfect, and
Right.
no, it's not. You living and breathing is
Correct.
not. So we do have. What about you, Ronnie? What
I
have
would,
been some of the downsides?
yeah, it would be like you said, kind of what Damon said there. I say identifying those when something has not gone to plan or when something isn't selling. I say identifying those mistakes as early as you can and not get too tied into something that you may think is going to work. So yeah, I've certainly had my share of setbacks. Maybe being a design that I thought was going to work that didn't, something that didn't that I thought that was going to sell that didn't. Those type of things. Um, COVID was certainly a setback for me. Our business started out. Our concept was going to be more formal wear, more dashikis, more kufis, more stuff of that nature, along with a few t-shirts. But when the pandemic came along, people were no longer going out, but they were still buying casual wear. So
Mhm.
we had to switch gears and gear up more towards t-shirts and more casual wear than the formal wear. So that was a learning experience. Like Damon said, you got to learn from those things. So I was able to learn from that, learn how to make t-shirts and learn some valuable skills from that.
Do you think you'll go back to the more formal wear or incorporate it in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
business?
we've already started to creep and carry more of that type of inventory. We never stopped carrying it.
Mhm.
If anything, I think we'll maybe get to a 50-50, but I don't think we'll ever get to where we predominantly.
Right. And the t-shirts, that I mean, that is something that people just wear, you know. So you're right, and they are his t-shirts are awesome. They are culturally relevant. They're well made. They look good. So yes, it's definitely I can. That makes a lot of sense. So what about some successes in business, Ronnie? I'll start with you this time. What would you say is your biggest success today? That you what do you feel most successful about?
Wow, that's a good question. I would say being able to survive. I mean, I'm going into my third year, going into my fourth year, having to survive that initial 2 year period where it's a lot of uh, uh, shelling out and not getting a lot back in because you're starting a new business. So being able to survive that, overcome that, still be relevant and in business today. To me, I give myself a pat on the back for that, and being able to adapt and change with some of with the times because they change very topics, and what's hot today is not hot tomorrow. So
Right.
be ready for that.
What about you, Demond? What's some successes you could say?
I like to reflect and I define success. And one of the things that I've always liked, one of the quotes that a lot of the motivators and speakers have said is success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea. So
Who say that one more time, a little slower? I like that. I want my.
success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea.
Mm, I like.
So so with that being said, is actually the success to me is actually being able to envision something and then to sit and see the your support base come in and support it. So I think that's the biggest success for me because a lot of times we look at the as business owners, black business owners, we see a lot of times we always want to judge success by the money.
Hmm.
And
Mm,
then when we judge it by the money, we're never content. So we still chasing, chasing, chasing money, and then not understanding that the product or the service that you're doing is it really a success to the ones that's giving you the money. If that
mm,
makes sense.
yeah. Wow. Deep. Mm-hmm.
I don't know about all that now.
I, I I certainly agree with a lot of Damon said there. Certainly can't. We are in business. Those are the bottom lines, but to me, it's much more. It's much more than what we're doing here. We're giving a lot back to the community, much more than just a financial means here.
It is. And it's funny. I am, I told you I'm a therapist in private practice, and I didn't even consider myself a business owner. Duh. I was just, I do therapy, but it is a business, and you have those ups and downs. And of course, you want to make money. You said, but it's more than just that. You want your business to be successful, and I too say that success is more than just, the bottom line. It is, am I making uh, a positive contribution? Because if I were doing something that was harmful to the community and it was financially beneficial to me, I would not personally see me as a success, if that were the situation. So I definitely don't want to harm my community. So yeah. Before we move any further, people are asking, where are the businesses? Someone that said, I love to visit your restaurant, so I need an address and a look. We don't want just an address like it's at the corner of such and such, such and such. Yeah, that helps people. So we'll start. Where's the restaurant? I got somebody who says they might be hungry this week.
We're in Oak Cliff, Redbird area, 3333 West Camp Wisdom, right across the street from the mall.
All right. And Ronnie J, where are you?
I'm in DeSoto, Texas. I'm inside the Grow DeSoto Marketplace. Right out you when you pull up, you'll see a bunch of food trucks out there in front of the building. But we're at 324 East Beltline Road, I'm in Suite 605, right as you walk in, but we are inside the marketplace.
And at the end, I'll have you give those addresses again, just so people can have them, and I will post them after the show on the different sites where it shows. But yeah, those questions were coming up, so I wanted to make sure we got that in. What can you say about the importance of keeping the black dollar in the black community and how it doesn't circulate enough in our community? Thoughts about that?
You
Come on.
going in, Ron? Huh?
Okay, Ronnie, go. Ronnie, what can you say about that?
I would just say I know it's very important coming into conscious as I have been the last several years, the importance of keeping the black dollar in the community if we want the community to grow. We want businesses to thrive and grow. We want our neighborhoods to look like the neighborhoods across the street, across the bridge. We If we want all that, we have to keep the dollar circulating within our community. It's how we grow, it's how our schools and our roads and all that get better by keeping that stuff in within our community.
True.
Can you
Demond,
ask the question one more time?
sure. What can you say about the importance of keeping the black dollar in the black community?
For you to ask that question, this is why your show is so important. When you talk about black mental health, is your wealth. Because if you don't spend, I'm gonna quote one more person. I'm gonna quote Commissioner John Wiley Price when he had his Talk Back Liberation show years ago.
Mhm.
He would close out with saying, "Have you bought black today?" And then he would turn around and say, "Then who in the hell you think will?" So for us to even ask that question about why is it important, it shows that we have a mental breakdown as a people, that we want to take our money elsewhere first and then talk about, I'm gonna go support a black business June 19th, Black History Month. That's a sickness within itself, because nobody go and feed other people's children before they feed their own. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Yes, it did. And that's, we don't, you're right. The black dollar does not circulate in the black community enough. And I get so upset when I hear black people say, well, I'm not going to spend my money with a black person because they do this. So I'm gonna make it about race right now. So all white folk treat you right.
All right.
When you say you're not going to spend your money, one black person upset you in business, so you're not going to spend money with any other black people. When I hear that, I'm like, that is so. I'm like, that just makes no sense to me. It's like really. Um, and I could see saying I'm not going to spend any money with that one person, but I hear people, I'm
But
not.
but 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 even with that being said, I mean, even the Walmart and all these other places, they make mistakes and everything else.
Thank you.
But you give them a second shot. But here go the play is, I have no problem with not supporting a business, but I think a lot of times it's two things. First of all, the first thing about it is all customers are not right. That's the first thing.
True.
That's the first lie that we talk about in business. All customers not right. But for those that are right and you got upset, you can go to that business and tell them what the issue was. But the first thing we want to do is get on social media and blast them, because now we see when you're dealing with self-hatred, because this is a mental illness. When you're dealing with self-hatred, a lot of times we just don't want to see somebody else in business make it because of the self-hatred that you have inside of you, that you really on some hate, if that makes sense. So we got to be able to get rid of that part of it first, and then if the business actually messes up, why can't we go to the business and say, hey man, I did this, I didn't like this, or you shorted me on this here, and then when you hold them accountable, then that's when you say, I'm not going to do this anymore. But by you just not going and supporting it, they might be open minded to try to fix what the issue was. But if you don't tell them that, then how are they going to fix it?
And they may not even have known the issue.
Yeah, because you're gonna go to these other places that they go to on Friday night, and they gonna jam pack it. And they gonna look at you funny, and they get in the back telling them that they don't tip, don't go there to them black folks over there, and but you gonna go there and drop plenty money.
Yes, yes. And you were was something you said when we were coming about the hatred. When we look at the mental health aspect of it, it is so true that when we look at where we are in America, we are still suffering from the impacts of slavery and racism. And we do have a self hatred. And part of that self hatred is why we don't want to spend money with each other because we don't value each other. Yes, the miseducation of the Negro Card. And what's that book is as relevant today as it was the day it was written.
In
If you
1933.
now, it's like you're reading something that was written not instead of 1933. You look, it's like you're reading something that was written 33 days ago. Uh, let me see. I'm trying to see it. Healing.
No, breaking the chains of psychological slavery.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, impactful
And it
book.
very much is. Even I see it even in our stores. I mean, I do get the occasional, asking for a discount. I just, those are the type of things that we need
Mhm.
to change, that's been ingrained in us, that we've been taught that it's okay to ask for a discount or a cheaper price from our businesses, where if you go across town to a white business, you don't even think about doing that.
Yeah,
So I those are the type of things I need to change, and also understand that black businesses, these aren't apples to apples. They're apples to oranges, that when we compare them to other businesses. I think even Damon mentioned it, as black business owners, we're almost working on one foot. We don't have all the funding. We can't get
hmm,
all that. So some of our processes and stuff may not be in place, but we always still find a way to deliver. So yeah, I think most of us are open to criticism, and we want that to make our businesses better.
right. And it's how you say it, because I'm real big about if I get good customer service, I will go ask for the manager. When I was at Sankofa the very first time I went, I was like, I need to see the owner, the manager, somebody. They're like, well, what happened? I said, it was so good here and I was treated so well. I got to give you your props. And so we need to do that more. And if I have something where it's not right, then I'm not going to call you out loud but I'm going to say, I really want to support, and I've done this. I really want to support black business, but this was my experience here. And I'm disappointed because I want to support you. I've done that as well. So I think we have to be honest. Like you say, I can't hold you accountable and go say, yeah, I went there and they did this, but I never told you. So then I'm going to go and say bad things about you without saying it. But I'm real big on, calling. I need to see the manager, the owner, somebody, because this place was awesome. And that is where I first, it was like, I moved, I've been here now 5 years. So it's probably about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and I was in your restaurant and you were there and I was like, this was good. I like this. I like this. I I always say I like vegetarian food and not vegan because vegan seem like fake food to me. However, it's just my thing. It seems like GMO. You're faking meat. I'm not a meat person, so what I want to eat some fake meat, and that was always my thing, right?
Everything
Vegetarian
is not everything though is not genetically
is,
modified.
and I know it's not. It's just my hang up
Yeah, I
about
get
it. But I love vegetarian.
it.
So, but your vegan food.
Right.
So I can say no words. Because yeah, meat.
Appreciate that.
I guess because I don't really like meat, I figure why eat something that's a meat substitute.
I
It just
understand.
but yours is good.
Appreciate it.
But we do have to say, well, I think we should take more time. Just even if I'm driving through some place, you just tell people when they do good, and I think that's something we need to learn to do more among ourselves. As a people, just tell somebody when they did good. When I come to your store, even if it's, come in there, like what you're doing. When I come over to the market, I'm going to say hi
Yep,
to everybody in there.
yep.
I can say hi to every owner. How you doing today? And make those connections, I think, are that are important. What else do you say just to people? What else can you say to people to encourage them to not just support you, but other Black businesses? What word of encouragement could you have for them? Ronnie?
Hmm.
I know I'm asking some tough stuff
Yeah,
off the cuff, but y'all good. You got it.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I just know black businesses. I mean, there are new black businesses are opening up every day there, and we're doing more than just t-shirt apparel. We're doing more than restaurants. We're in a lot of places and a lot of arenas these days. So just be cognizant of those black businesses that are out there when you're going to purchase an item or service. that you haven't thought of before, I would, be look down your black listing to make sure that there's not someone there that can service that need.
Mm-hmm. What can you say, Damon?
I mean, I think just like
And I'm
you
not
said,
saying your name right. Is it
Devon. Yes,
okay?
yes. I mean, kind of like I'm gonna piggyback off what you just said about telling when somebody's doing good, like the show that you're doing. This is good. We need more of this. So that's part of it. And then as business owners, and we have to do like basically like Ronnie did. It's like we have to communicate and share each other's resources and let everybody else know that if they looking for something, we have to be confident in our own business to pass the ball. And a lot of times we don't want to pass the ball. We ball hogging a lot.
Yep, and I think Damon's probably experienced this. I know I have, that we're much more than just what our business is.
Mm-hmm.
We're much more than a restaurant. We're much more than the owner of a retail shop. Because people come in our store, they see the empowerment and they want to conversate about that, and so it brings something out of them. I think both of our atmospheres of our environments do. They bring something out of people, and they want to conversate about that. They want to talk about that, and it brings them back.
And I can say that from my experience with both of yours, it was seeing the book side of the restaurant. Because when we got there the first time, we were just hangry, so it was like we could just eat right now. Then it's like, oh, it's some more stuff over here. Look, and I've come to your shop, Ronnie, and we just sit and talk about stuff. I'll be in there 30 minutes. I'm always about something. Wearing my earrings tonight. I got
I
like,
see
when
that.
I
You look
was
good.
there.
Look good.
But yeah, it is that connection, and I think that's what's important is that we take more time to make those connections,
Yep.
with people.
Yep.
What about encouraging words to people who may be thinking about starting their own business? What would you say to them, Black folks?
Go ahead, Ron.
I would say do your homework. I mean,
Mm.
Demond has been at this a lot longer than I can. I would say, yeah, you want to delegate where you can, but if there's a new skill that you need to learn for your business, you need to learn that skill and not outsource it out. You may have to outsource it at times, but you need to know that skill. So whatever it is, if it's something you have to outsource, try to learn that skill. Not only is it going to save you, but when the time of needs, you'll be able to know what that skill is. So I know there's been various skills I've had to learn coming into this. A lot that I had a previous retail experience. My background is IT, but I did have previous retail experience that I was able to carry over to this business.
Before you go to mine, I want to comment on that whole thing about do your homework. Because a lot of times people jump into stuff without having the
Yeah,
appropriate foundation for it. It's like the saying building a house on, sand. It's not going to work. You need a foundation. And when you're starting a business, you do need to do your homework.
yeah,
You need to have I was listening to Urban Talk Radio today, and it happened to be talking about one of the segments was on ownership of Black businesses. And what's one of the things that causes business to fail? You jump into it and you weren't ready.
yeah. We
You
and
did your homework.
and that yeah. So certainly planning. I mean, you must plan. We must have a business plan. Those things we don't see as important, but they are vital. We need to make sure to the naming of our business, to the naming of our LLC, all that you need to vet all that out. You need to write it all down, and you need to bounce it off other folks as well.
Even the name of this show. So when I first started doing this, it was called Thinking Thursdays. I was just one Thursday a month, and it was just something I wanted to do to, promote Black mental health. Then I started every week, and I changed the name from Thinking Thursday to Black Mental Health is Mental Health because it needed to know. Thinking Thursday didn't tell you what it was about. So you're right. The name is so important. Going to you, Damon, what is something you can? I'm trying to remember the question.
Right.
We've gone down the road. What can you say to somebody who wants to start a business? How can you encourage them?
So I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit what you guys said, because I,
Okay.
I I started as I started in business when it wasn't popular to be in business.
Mhm.
Now we have these key phrases where I'm doing for myself, or I'm an entrepreneur, or I'm doing pop ups. See, all of this was a hustle man game when I started. I started when I was 19 years old. So a lot of times, like right now, we talking about getting information. We talking about an age that the internet wasn't even jumping real hard. So I come in as we say it now. I came really in coming out the mud. So a lot of things have to be trial and error. You have to so depending on the depending on how deep you get into the business world, some business might just fail all the way around the board. But it's not a failure. You bought something. It's like when you go to college and you stay in there 4 or 5 years and you spend $100,000 and you can't come out and get a job for 50,000. Did you fail going to school? So a lot of it is trial and error. But you have to I guess absorb your failure. And what I suggest is that is going back to the whole Black Wall Street mindset. Is actually trying to get together with a group of people to go into the business because right now the economy and the world is moving so fast. We don't have time to fail slow because one false move and you might not never get up out the mud again. So I think that if you're thinking about business, find other people that you can pull the resources together and I'm not just speaking of money, I'm speaking of knowledge. Being bouncing off of that. I'm not a big advocate of asking people for information that has never been in the game. I don't believe in that, because if everybody got an opinion, don't mean that they know how to play call. And so I don't, so that I got a different philosophy on that part of it. But I think that we need to identify if we're trying to be an entrepreneur, a business owner, or an investor. See, that's the game that we want to give. And I hate to say this here, but a lot of people that's doing pop-ups are not business owners. They just have they're good. They have a good trade and they self-employed. A business is something that you can make money while you're not there and step away from it 3 or 4 months and still generate money. That's a business owner. So we have to. I think that's the first thing is getting when we talk about doing the research. Get our research to find out what role are we truly playing, if that makes sense.
No, I love that definition you just gave, and that is so true. To understand what you're the business owner. Yeah, as a pop up, you just popping up. But
And
if
I'm not
not,
knocking it, but a lot of times we go into the pop-up world and we have one table out there. Oh man, didn't nobody support us today. They didn't want to spend black. You got 5 items on your table. How much support can you take? I mean, that's part of doing research. Is like it's a skill to vend. How many of us know that? We got so many people doing pop-up events, but they don't think about the people that's doing the pop-up. I mean, that's doing the vending. So and it's 50 people in there selling jewelry. How much money can everybody possibly make? It's 1,000 people doing t-shirts. So we got to understand. See, a lot of people are running out here in this talking business because it's popular, it's cool, it's a key phrase. But business is war. This is why they bombed Oklahoma because it's war when you're talking about being an entrepreneur and doing business. And that's what we don't look at it. We out here playing business, and these other people they taking it as war. That's why they come in and take over our community. That's why all of these corner stores have been taken over because this is the position of the war. They come in and they position themselves for the best corner. But we don't look at it like that. We look at it as, and they want to know why in 6 years they come back in and buy the whole shopping center because they done position the best corner to on both sides of the street. If you go, I know some areas right here in Oak Cliff. It's Arabs and Indians. They own 11 stores on the block. They sucking all the money out. So we talking about we don't spend black. Hell, they done sucked all the money out before it get to us. I'm
And
doing
so true.
so, spending money and keeping it in the community. When we have those establishments, and there's several of them, we spend our money, plenty of money in those establishments, and that money leaves the community alone when those people go home at night.
Mm-hmm.
And to
And
me,
what?
this might be. I'm going against the grain again. My identity as a business owner. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to step on a lot of people's toes, but a true entrepreneur and a business owner is identified by you. You eat what you kill. If you got a job and you got a business, you invested in a business. That's not a business owner all the way. I'm sorry. because you can play business and it looks good, but when you can eat from what you kill, that's what determines if you're gonna go a lot further. Because as long as you got that cushion over there, when you got this job that you can go to, it's a different world when you out here running. You can speak to this. You can. I promise you get a chance to this. Here. When you out here and you got, if you don't kill nothing today, you don't eat. It's a different mindset.
It is. And yeah, I'm there too, so I get it. I do want to say, let me see, because so much. I told you the time would
I'm
go
finished.
quickly. I will, just in terms of people supporting Black business, one of the things I do, if I'm going to go out to eat, I will go research black owned restaurants near me.
Yeah.
And it will tell you. So when you want to buy something, you can type it in. And now and then you have to make sure the internet can't lie. But there's a seal you can get, that says black owned, certified black owned business or something like that, And if it's there, that's how I generate my list. And then, so that's just another way you can look at supporting us. What,
Correct.
you know, um,
Yes, I have some men over here, some women.
so yeah, that's another way we support us.
We're just leaving close.
And it's not hard because if you're watching this or listening to this, you have access to the internet because we're on the internet. So, encouraging people to do that. As we get ready to wind down, because I told you the 45 minutes would go
This
quick.
goes.
Somebody thought that, they couldn't talk that long. We won't say who, but it's the one who talked the most. But I'm not calling any names, but
Been in business.
wealth of knowledge. No, it was great. Ronnie, are you able to pan your shirts real quick?
Sure.
I don't know if you're on the phone. Yeah. So just look at some of the shirts he has and some of the items he has so you can see. And y'all just got to go eat the food and say COVID. That's all I got to say. Just go eat the food. So yeah, I wanted you to get a chance to kind of see, what's out there. So he has great stuff. My sister says has a shirt she bought when she was up here, and everybody's always asking her, "Where is it?" Because it's unique. My son has I bought him the melanin hoodie, I think. So yeah, I have supported his business. So we have wound down. Thank you so you see he's got a lot of stuff, y'all.
He got a lot of stuff.
Y'all just gotta go. And there's the really conscious books you're gonna find if you go to Sankofa. Good stuff there as well. Not just the food, but you can hang out just on the other side, looking at the books and absorbing knowledge. So I want to thank you both for coming on. It's been great having you. Oh, and I will say, so I have started another I'm gonna give myself a business plug. So I started another business because I was doing this for fun, making jewelry. So I started making jewelry and I would give it away until people were like, you need to sell it. So everyone's wearing the bracelets. So I will just show some of mine. This is, let me find the camera, one of my necklaces that I have made. This is an example, one of the bracelets that I have made. And I'm wearing a necklace and bracelet set. So I have started too. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna, I'm gonna get it out there more. But I encourage you, and this was something that I started doing for fun, expressing my creative side.
Right.
And then it's like you can sell it if people want to buy it. Oh, well, then I'm gonna sell it. And enjoy making it. So, that's just a way of encouragement to have your side little hustle. See, I think everybody needs to have 5 or 6 little streams of income anyway. So those and that's a whole nother financial show to talk about why we need that. But your other streams of income can be fun too. And so for me, I'm just starting this, and it's because it was something I started because I was doing already. So starting a business, and I'm, looking at the real side of it, but it can be fun. I'm going to wind this down, but I decided I'd give myself a shameless plug. Why not? So
if you don't toot your own horn, nobody else will.
Thank you.
Right. And again, thank you. These platforms allow people like myself and Damon to come on and talk about our businesses and the culture and the economic impact. We certainly appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I would like to end with a call to action, and my call to action this week is find you a black business and support it.
Mhm, right on.
Go visit these two guys. You'll love it, and let them know you heard it on the show. I'm going to let them give their addresses one more time in just a minute. And always, 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 I say vote. Be an educated voter. He's showing you the marketplace in DeSoto, and all those are businesses. Those are black-owned businesses. So many different ones there. Restaurant, great food, just a lot of stuff there. But be an educated voter. Be an educated voter and vote in every election. There is no unimportant election because all elections are local. It impacts you. Uh, so before we go, one more time, give your address to mine. Where are you?
3333 West Camp Wisdom, Suite 111. I'm sorry, Suite 118.
Right across from what
It's all
used to
those
be
different
Redbird
businesses.
Mall. How you gonna not know your address?
Right.
And write your address one more time.
Yes, I'm at 324 East Beltline Road. I'm Suite 605. You see all these suite numbers up here? I'm Suite 605 inside the Grow Soda Marketplace.
All right. Thank you once again, guys, for being on tonight. I appreciate it, guys. Support their business and find you. If you're not close by, there are black businesses where you are. Find one,
Absolutely.
support it.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Much
Thank you,
love.
guys, both.
Peace.
All right.
Bye bye.